before I do, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my story. You going live now?
Yeah, I'm going
live.
Is
The young lady from Arizona on?
She should be.
She should be on. Okay, all right, good. We got people listening from other states and stuff. So anyway, my name is Tamia Bethea Williams. I am Siobhan's mom, and I'm excited because for the first time in a long time, she's excited. I've only been doing this for 12 years, mind you. Okay.
I know, right?
Anyways, I'm from South Carolina. You probably hear that accent by now, right? Southern accent. Most people think I'm from everywhere else, but I was born and raised in South Carolina. And I'm sharing my story because I want you to understand how I got to know about this. My grandmother raised me. My grandmother had 11 children. My grandmother's mother had 11 children. And my grandmother ended up raising her own children because her mom passed away. So my grandmother raised 21 children. And then at 7 years old, my mother passed away of ectopic pregnancy. And when I was 9, my father was incarcerated for 25 years to double life. So my grandmother ended up raising me, even though she raised all those children because I had no mom and I had no dad. So I ended up in South Carolina, where I was born and raised, back to South Carolina, and my grandmother raised me there. But I wanted to be a little bit different. I know I didn't want to have a child, Siobhan to be the only child. So I figured, let me have at least 2 or 3. So this way, when one would be out of college, the other one would be going into college, and I'd be faced with paying tuition one child at a time, opposed to paying double or triple. But something happened in my life. I have Siobhan, which you all know, is 28 years old. Maybe she didn't want you to know that part. Sorry, Facebook. But anyways, then her brother came 4 years later. I got pregnant with him right on time, as scheduled. Carried him full term, no complications at all. I don't think you ever heard my story. And my son, Damien Jr., he lost oxygen at birth and was diagnosed, that's Siobhan's brother, her only brother, was diagnosed as being a child that would be severely mentally retarded. Now, I said I'm from South Carolina. I was born in a house with a midwife. My grandmother had 11 children, all natural. Her mother, same thing. I'm in New York in a hospital where I got medicine, I got doctors, I have nurses, I got everything I need, but still and yet, nobody didn't know that my child was going through something inside of me. So instead of giving me a C-section, they let me have him, and they had to use forceps to remove him from my body. So anyway, Damien Jr. for a long time, they said that he wouldn't walk, he wouldn't talk, he wouldn't feed himself, he wouldn't go to the bathroom. He wouldn't be able to do anything. And I remember sometimes when Siobhan had to change his diaper as a sister. Damien was in diapers until he was 11 years old. I don't know if you remember, but they used to have to ship those real big boxes of diapers because we couldn't buy Huggies because he was too big for Huggies. So for a long time, I didn't want to really talk about my son's condition because I didn't feel like I was doing people a favor by sharing that part of my life with them because I felt like they would judge me. Maybe they'd say I did something wrong or whatever the case might be. I didn't want to take Damien out too much because I got tired of having to answer questions. Why is he not saying anything? Why is he in the ladies' bathroom? So I kind of kept it to myself for a bit. But I started talking about it. And when I started talking about it, a good friend of mine, Anna Wilshire, who's now going to be 80 years young soon and does not look a day over 60. I mean, the lady is absolutely phenomenal. She's in Trinidad right now burying her brother. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. She heard my story, and she told me about this machine. Now, because I know Anna, and I've been knowing her for a long time, I trusted her. And that's the only reason why I went to her house, because she told me that these machines was $4,000. And I said, you know what, that's a bit much to me. I'm from South Carolina. Where I come from, water's water. I don't know what the big deal is. What's so special about this Japanese technology, right? So I went over to her house and I saw the demo. The same one I'm going to show you all here in just a moment. I saw the demo, and everything I had been giving my son outside of Giorgio Vodka, was all acidic. But I figured that everything that was in the store, on the shelves, in the grocery store, in the drug stores, it was good. Because our government wouldn't allow us to drink something that's no good. This is what I'm thinking. But then when I saw the demo, I said, wait a minute. Everything I'm giving my son is acidic. No wonder he's not, progressing. Instead, he's regressing. He's going backwards. And so when I changed his water, because I just got the machine, I didn't have the money to buy the machine, honestly. I had to make a down payment to get it, and then I paid it off little by little. So what I did is I made a down payment, I paid off little by little, but my son, the benefits that my son got was absolutely amazing. If you see Damien now, who is 24 years old, he'll be 25 January 1st, you would never think that, unless you try to talk to him. You know, if you try to talk to him, you know there's a disability there. But, and you know that, Falana, if you can see that, but when you see his face, it's like you don't really see a disability. Because, you know, that wasn't the way it was supposed to be, but that's the way it happened. And now he's doing absolutely amazing. Damien goes to the bathroom by himself. He feeds himself. Okay, he's putting his shirt on. He goes upstairs. He turns his TV on. He sits down in his recliner and watch whatever he want to watch. He puts Jalen Jeremy out. He puts Chantel and me out. He puts Siobhan out. Everybody gets put out when he want to watch his shows and he want peace and quiet. He knows after he's gotten his food, because we have to assist him in a lot of things, but he's nowhere near what doctors predicted he would be. And so when I saw Damien's transformation, and I also started to see my own transformation, because when I gave birth to Chantel, I was 268 pounds. Yes, Chantel, that's what you did to me. 268 pounds. And I figured, I'm from South Carolina, so I'm this big bone. You know, that's what they say in the South, right? Big bone. So I figured, hey, I'm just going to be this way because all my aunts and my grandmother, you know, big ladies. So I figured I'm just going to be that way. But when I realized, after, you know, getting in contact and after learning and studying under doctors through this technology, that my bones are only 6.5 to 7 pounds. The rest of it is all me. I did it. And I was borderline high blood pressure, borderline diabetic, borderline high cholesterol, borderline, you name it. And I think had I not found this, I really sincerely believe that I probably would not be standing here talking to y'all right now. Because I was on the verge of some of everything. I was mentally distraught. There's a whole lot of things I was going through. And as a result of drinking the water, things that start to happen to my body too. Now my body's in such a state of balance that my body automatically heals itself. I don't remember the last time I got a cold. I don't. Pain, I don't even know what that feels like. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast. It's just that a lot of times when we experience these things, because our body, we're dehydrated. And if you're drinking stuff that have big clusters, molecules, then you're not going to be hydrated. Your cells don't understand that. Water years ago was good water. Some places you can still go and you can still get good water. But there's only 1% of that left in the world. And it's not in New York City. It's nowhere in the United States. I put it to you like that. So don't get it twisted. Nowhere here, especially on Long Island. Okay? So I want to share something with you right now. And you can just turn the page with me. As you know, it's real simple. I'm doing this because I want Janelle, I want you and Tanya, I want y'all to see just how simple this is. And Falana. Okay? It's not difficult. I made these books. The reason I made these books about 12 years ago, and the information I just upgraded and have somebody upgrade it as we go along, is because when we got started, the company, Enagic, has been around now for 44 years, but only been in the United States going on 13 years. That's it. You hear me? I mean, literally 13, 14 years in the United States. I've been in it for 12 years. So at the end of the day, you know, this is something that we're just now getting privy to. In Long Island, nobody really knows. In Brooklyn, I have a ton of people in Brooklyn, a ton of people in Queens, Florida, all over the world, but Long Island is still wide open. And we need it here. Because just today, I was talking to someone, and she was telling me, I forget who I was talking to. Who was I talking to, Siobhan? The lady was telling me that somebody with physics, I don't forget who it was. But anyway, I was talking to somebody, and she said that one of her friends, he works out here in one of the plants, and every time they do a spill, oh, that was my son's Medicaid coordinator, Yvette. You didn't meet her. Every time they have a spill, he comes home and he tells his neighbors, don't drink the water for at least 3 days. Right out here in Long Island. Because what they do is they put chemicals in it to neutralize the waste. When they have a spill, they put chemicals in the water to neutralize it. And if you drink it, it could give you cancer. But if they know they have a spill, he said they have spills all the time. All the time. Right out here. That's where all of these chemical waste plants are. And the ones that you don't even know about are still in existence. It's crazy. So anyway, I put together this little book just to kind of give you some insight. And I'm going to do a demo and then that's it. Done. How that sound? So on this page here, I got a lot of information from NRDC.org, the National Resource Defense Council. And what you'll see here, there's a ton of information, but I'm not going to go through all of it. I'm going to spare you. But what I will say is I like to refer to the last sentence down there. Because this is really sad. Every single day, 14,000 people die from waterborne illnesses. And 11,000 are children under the age of 5 years old worldwide. But they say it's from this disease or from that disease or some cause was natural causes. the water ain't so natural like it used to be. Okay? My husband is a plumber. And some of the things that I've seen that he showed me with pipes, and some of the stuff that's inside the pipes will blow your mind. Okay? And he used to work in a plant where if the chemicals that they put in the water to clear the water up, he said the water's like a chocolate looking color, and then they put these high power chemicals in there to clear the water up. And when the water, if those chemicals were to touch you, it would literally eat through your bone. That's how powerful they are. But it's in our water to kill living organisms. And we drink it, we cook with it, and we wonder why we're not getting better, right? So that's one of the things there. And then also it talks about a lot of the waste that's being dumped in the water too. Now on this side here, you know, I talk a little bit about tap water, which I talked about a little bit, but bottled water. A lot of folks think that bottled water is the way to go. I remember when bottled water first came out. Remember it was hard plastic? Mm-hmm. Now listen. What happened? It takes over 21,000 chemicals to produce these plastic bottles. And those chemicals are not good for you. And then when they put this water that they have filtered inside of these plastic bottles, that water is 185 to 190 degrees. Then that water sits on the shelf sometimes up to 4 or 5 years. What do you think is happening with that hot water touching this plastic?
It's going inside the water.
The chemicals start to go inside of the water. And then what do? We take it and we drink it. Now they're linking breast cancer and prostate cancer to the plastic, the same chemicals that they use to produce these plastic bottles inside of the human body. But you can go and buy it, you know, for $4 or $5 a case. It's okay. But where was it before it got to you? It wasn't cool like this before when it got in this bottle. It was really, really hot. And then the chemicals start to leach in there. Sheryl Crow, go read her story out of Australia. Sheryl Crow got breast cancer. When they did a biopsy of her breast, they found some of the same chemicals used to produce these plastic bottles in her breast tissue. They recall with this one here, Dasani, 500,000 bottles from the UK. Dasani, made by who? Coca-Cola. Aquafina, made by who? Pepsi. Cola. They in it. Did they figure people want to drink water? We'll make them some water. So we call 500,000 bottles back from the UK. Why? Because they found alarming levels of potassium bromate, another cancer-causing chemical in the water. But when you go on JetBlue, they give you Dasani. When you go to the hospital, they give you Dasani. When you go to any high school on Long Island, they have a Dasani machine inside the high school. Okay. What's the problem? We know what it's doing to people, but people still have access. Because here you're supposed to be smart enough to know better. And in some countries, it's been banned. So go figure that. Smart water, you're going to see today how smart it is in just a few minutes. You're going to see just how smart it is. And then you have third-party documentation. I like to refer to Dr. Otto Warburg because he received the Nobel Prize for his discovery that cancer cells only live and multiply in an acidic environment. He talked about, you know, what kills cancer cells, and this was discovered back in the 1920s. So if that was discovered back in the 1920s, then why is it that we went from 1 out of 20 people getting cancer now to 1 out of every 2? It's predicted that every woman will get cancer before she dies nowadays. Some type of cancer. Y'all know that? And 1 out of every 2 men are going to get some type of cancer before they die. Some will make it and some won't. What's the problem? In other countries, you know, it's not that serious. Like Sudan, Africa, Israel, they have the lowest cancer rate. It came out Israel. And then 2 in the top 10, you'll be glad to know, the Caribbean in the top 10. Why? Because they use a lot of turmeric, a lot of curry. In turmeric, there's an ingredient called curcumin. Curcumin kills cancer cells. Now, this is not what I'm saying based off of Enagic. This is based on NRDC.org. You can find it there too. But also PubMed.gov. PubMed.gov. You can find it there. Look up curcumin. It's one of the main ingredients in one of the, I think it's in the spring Ukon. I'm not sure, spring or autumn. And then there's our CEO, Mr. Shiro. Mr. Shiro is 76. I was just with him just the other day. And he's been drinking the water now for going on 30 years. He drinks about 2 gallons a day almost 2 gallons a day. He drinks a lot of water. And he said he's going to live until he dies. What I love about Enagic is that it's not just about the health side of it, but there's also, you know, financial healing, and then there's also peace of mind healing, which is something that I can testify to. because my life is changed tremendously since I got involved in this industry, period, but since I've been in Enagic for the past 12 years. And then you hear here, see on this side, antioxidants, which is something that we all need. We all need to have more of an antioxidant diet. And this water is antioxidant. One glass, you'd be surprised at what can happen with just one glass. You see? And that's when people try it, they see for themselves what the benefits are. If you turn to this page, you'll see all the different technology that we have here. All of it here. We have shower unit, we have a supplement, we have a soap, we have a rice, all made in Japan. We even have a shower unit as well. Okay? And so and the list just continues to expand. But what's most exciting to me is this. Because I use this for just about everything. I haven't used toothpaste. I don't know when the last time I used toothpaste in my mouth. I'm serious. All I use is the strong Kangen water and the strong acidic water. I brush my teeth with the strong Kangen, and then I gargle with the strong acidic water. I'm telling you, and we have dentists who use it too, who give it to their patients. You can use the strong acidic water in place of your deodorant. I use the strong Kangen water to wash my clothes. You just take one of this, you fill it up, and you take half of that and put it in a full load of clothes with the regular water, and just let it wash. You don't have to put soap in it, unless you just want the smell of soap if you want to. And softener, I use the beauty water in place of the softener. Instead of using a disinfectant in your house with all these chemicals or bleach or whatever, use the strong acidic water. Instead of using a Windex to clean your windows, use the beauty water. Cook with it, clean with it, remove stains, everything. It is amazing, and the machine will last you up to 25 years. All you got to do is change the filter. That's it, and you can unhook it and take it with you wherever you go. And have Kangen water with you. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you a demo. And I want you just to refer to this page here. The first thing I'm going to show you is the pH test. Okay? I think I do the ORP test first. That's the one in the middle. Now this is 7-Up. The reason I chose this one is because it's light. You can see, you'll be able to see through it, right? And then this that represents all soda. Now this is sports drink. This one, I chose this one because you can see through it as well. But it represents Gatorade, you name it, all sports drinks. And then we have here Aquafina. Their main source, the Detroit River. Did y'all know that? How many bodies they find in the Detroit River? They'll be glad they boiled this. You don't get no DNA in your system. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just saying. Poland Spring ain't so springy. Only 20% of what's in this bottle actually comes from the springs. 20%. The rest of it, municipal water. And then you have Dasani, made by who? Coca-Cola. I gotta put another one of these inside my bag here, so I got a bunch of water at home. People think I drink it, but I don't drink it. Now this is smart water. This is 50 cents water. Y'all know 50 cents, right? Y'all know you own smart water, right? Yeah.
Check you out, Mara.
What? That's right. I know 50 Cent. And he may not like me right now, especially if you're watching on Facebook. I'm sorry, 50 Cent. But you'll be all right. And then we have Kangen Water, which I'm going to make some right now. Let me give me a big glass, Siobhan.
Okay.
This is the Kangen Water. And I'll show you how we put, yeah, this is perfect. Okay. This is Kangen Water here. And coming from the secondary hose is the opposite of 14. So this is 9.5 I'm gathering right here. But coming from this hose would be 3.5 because on the pH chart it's 0 to 14. So whatever it is, because it's a computer, and it's considered a medical device in Japan. But in addition to that, it's separating the water. And how it's doing that is because of the technology. And I'll share that with you just right now. So I'm going to turn it off. So here we have it. This is our Kangen Water right here. All right? Pour some in here. So this is the device. This right here is the first one that we came out. The first one that we had when Enagic first got started. This machine, I believe, is about 12 years old.
Yeah, I got it when I was in college.
Yeah, 12 years old because she was using the smaller one and she didn't do everything she needed to do, make the strong acidic water and whatnot. So we got her this one. So behind this door is a filter. See, once you hook it up, it's real easy to hook up. Take you 5 minutes. If I can do it without reading, I know y'all can do it. I mean, I just look at the pictures and I figured it out and I got it right. So all them directions and stuff. But here is the actual filter inside of here. That filter removes rust, lead, sediment, all of that stuff, odors from the water. And then that filter water goes to this part of the machine, which is called the electrolysis chamber. In that chamber, there's medical grade plates. Now, medical grade in the United States is a little over 70%. In Japan, it's over 90%. Titanium, real titanium, dipped twice in platinum. So when that clean water now, just clean water, it's still all together. It goes through the ionization process. There, the water is slightly electrocuted, dividing the water. So like the Red Sea. You know what I'm saying? So one side. And you're going to see that here in just a moment. So when that happens, now you'll have the water that, you just press the button and the machine even talks to you.
Kangen Water 8.5. Clean water.
Which you use to take medicine or to make baby formula.
Beauty water.
Beauty water.
Strong acidic water.
Okay?
Kangen Water 8.5. Kangen Water 9.0. Kangen
All right.
Water 9.5.
So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this ORP meter. I'm just doing this so Siobhan can learn how to do this. Usually I don't do this at a demo, but I'm going to do it today so you all can see. This ORP meter. ORP stands for oxidation reduction potential. Whenever you consume a beverage that's loaded with oxidants, what do you think is going to happen to your body? First of all, let's talk about oxidation. When you leave a banana out, what would the banana do? It's going to get black. Where did that come from? Oxidation. If you leave nails out, what the nails going to do? They're going to rust. Oxidation. So now, the same air that you're breathing that's causing the banana to rust, causing the apple to go brown, not the banana rust, causing the banana to get black, causing the apple to go brown, causing the nails to rust, you're breathing that in. So if you're breathing in that air, and this is no different from breathing in that air, drinking these things that's full of oxidation. Because all you're doing is causing your body internally to, the organs to oxidize quicker. So even though we may be 28 on the outside, I like to think I am anyway, but I know I'm not. I'm a long ways from that. But anyway, even though you want to be that age on the outside, what are you really on the inside? There's tests to show you how old you are really on the inside. Not what's on your birth certificate, but what you are on the inside. So what you put in is what's really going on the inside. So because we can't turn ourselves inside out, we don't know. We just assume. So now I'm going to turn this meter on. If it stays positive, you don't see a negative in front of it, that means that it's oxidized. That means that when you take it, you're adding oxidation to your insides. Okay? So let's look at this soda first. What does it say?
773.
And when you look at your chart, look at the ORP chart. 773. Is that good or bad?
Bad. Wait.
Positive.
That's very bad. It's not even on the chart.
Hello. You see that? Now what about the sports drink?
682. 675.
That's so bad.
That's not on the chart either.
Okay, and then what about Aquafina?
613.
Oh, it's going,
And
back
going up,
now.
and going up.
618.
Mm-hmm. Poland Spring.
Oh, it's going down a little bit.
They got 20% in there, right? Fiji, same way. All of them, the same way. Dasani.
Oh, it's going back up.
Going up.
59?
Yeah, 598. Smart water.
Come on, 50 Cent.
What's going on? Now let's just take a look at this water. I just read it from the machine. What happened?
Oh, it went straight down.
Ooh, what happened?
Negative.
Wow, negative.
Negative 420.
Negative 4.
And just in case y'all think I'm trying to pull a fast one on you, let's go back to the soda again.
Wow, let's keep going up.
Going up.
So it's back to positive.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
That's
Yeah.
the only one that was in the negative.
Okay? So the only one in the negative was what?
Kange Water.
Do you know, and I wish this wasn't on live on Facebook, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Oh, I could pause it.
You'll pause it for a minute, pause it. Do you know that to cure cancer,